Okay, we need to talk about Eric Andre because this story is sad and disgusting. Now, most people know that Eric Andre started in music. He went to Berklee School of Music and he played the upright bass. But most people don't know that soon after school, he joined the band Powerman 5000. Now, he joined the band playing guitar, though he was a bassist because they already had a bassist, but the band was taking off, and Eric saw this as a quick route to success. So from 1997 to 1999, Eric is playing in Powerman 5000. And by 1999, the band is actually had breakout success. They have a song that's been used in video games, it's on TRL, and people know the name Powerman 5000. Now, the band was shocked to learn that Eric actually was very uncomfortable with this success, and it was partially because of the costumes they wore and the type of music they played. See, Eric always wanted to be taken seriously, and this band was kinda silly. Now, to understand Eric's personality, you gotta understand he grew up with a twin named Derek. Now, Derek Andre was the wild child. Derek Andre was the one always getting in trouble. Eric was the soft, shy kid. And Eric struggled with this throughout his life. He's the kind of person that he's just not a natural performer. And when asked to play the 2000 VMAs, Eric had a nervous breakdown. He refused to wear the costumes, he refused to play the songs, he entirely quit the band Powerman 5000. So now Eric is back home, jobless, broke, doesn't know what to do. The only thing that remains from Powerman 5000 is the few industry relationships he made. Now, from his time in the successful band, he'd become close friends with MTV VJ Gideon Yago. And Gideon was a party boy. Gideon liked to paint the town red. He was a wicked child and he went out and he did whatever he wanted. Gideon was like the Leonardo DiCaprio before Leonardo DiCaprio. Now, Gideon introduces Eric to Jeff Zucker, who is the president of NBC Entertainment. And Jeff Zucker's responsible for shows like Las Vegas, Law and Order, Criminal Intent, and Scrubs, and endless other shows. So Jeff Zucker is a high roller. He's a big player in the game. And so Eric goes to a couple of Jeff's legendary Hollywood parties, and he was weirded out enough by whatever transpired there to stop attending. So Eric is once again back home, disconnected from Hollywood, disconnected from money, broke, jobless, and desperate. So Eric makes a very bad decision. Eric robs a Best Buy, but the thing is, he gets away with it. But in a movie-like turn of events, Eric's brother Derek goes into that very same Best Buy the next day to purchase some headphones. And so you can guess what happens next. Derek gets locked up for grand theft. And even if the police would have believed Derek that it was his twin brother that robbed the store, he would be ratting him out, and Derek refused to do that. So it's at this point that Eric realizes he has to do whatever it takes to help his brother and family with these legal fees, or else his brother might rot in jail for the rest of his life for a crime committed by Eric. With no choice left, Eric phoned up Gideon Yago and requested to join him at the next Hollywood party. Now, I know what you're thinking, this is going to take some strange sexual turn, but that's not exactly where it goes. So after ingratiating himself with these wild Hollywood people, Eric is quickly offered his own talk show. And this is actually a dream come true for Eric because he's always loved Jay Leno and Craig Ferguson. And ironically, Eric even pitched to the studio a version of The Daily Show with him as the host. And they were interested, but only under the condition that he speak with a South African accent and claim that is his birthplace. Now, Eric found this to be very odd, of course, and he didn't understand the point of that idea, but he soon found out that every idea he pitched, the studio said yes to, but there was always some absurd condition that would undermine Eric's original intent. So after 6 months of back and forth negotiations, Jeff Zucker finally takes Eric aside for a private meeting and asks him, what is it that you truly want to do? And Eric told him he just wants to host a regular late night talk show and explain the reason he left Powerman 5000 and his desire to be taken seriously. Now, this is all from Eric's book, Taking Back My Life, but apparently Jeff laughed in Eric's face and said, you don't get it, do you? Here's your final offer. You host a talk show that is full of constant, silly, goofy gags that interrupt the guest, like Yo Gabba Gabba on crack. We will film you for hours and hours and only show about 15 minutes of the show. Now, you have about 5 seconds to say yes. And obviously Eric did say yes, and thus begins The Eric Andre Show, where Eric was frequently seen looking uncomfortable and bullied. Now, like I said, Eric was a relatively shy person and really didn't like being rude to people or pranks. So how production dealt with this was by drugging him. Now, this all comes from a producer from The Eric Andre Show who admitted to frequently spiking Eric's drinks before filming to get a better performance out of it. While this is sad and clearly abusive, you can only feel so bad for Eric once you find out that after season 1's success, he fully cut ties with his entire family, abandoning poor Derek Andre, who remains locked up to this very day. And while Eric certainly has made an insane amount of money from his many shows, sponsorships, movies, and merchandise, the most shocking thing is that he actually filed for bankruptcy last year. And the reason he had to file for Chapter 11 will absolutely shock you. Now, if you remember earlier, I spoke of Eric's desire to lead The Daily Show. Well, fast forward 8 years from Eric's pitch, and we have one Trevor Noah fronting The Daily Show with a South African accent, just like Jeff Zucker demanded of Eric. And while it seems like Eric should take issue with Jeff, instead he's focused his rage on poor Trevor Noah. And by now everyone knows the many verbal altercations they've been in over the years, but most people don't know that Eric's hatred went so far that he was willing to spend every last dime on it. So in late 2017, Trevor Noah is attending a P.F. Chang's for a lunch when he bites into what he thinks is Kung Pao chicken. Trevor immediately spit out the ill-tasting food, only to hear maniacal laughter coming from the other side of the restaurant. Finally, he sees Eric Andre walking towards him holding sparklers. Now, Trevor is very confused, and I think we all would be if this happened to us. And at this time, every other guest in the restaurant turns to Trevor and starts laughing at him. Eric points to Trevor's plate and says, "Sorry, I thought you ordered the poop du jour," revealing that he had just fed Trevor human feces. So how does this connect to filing for bankruptcy? Well, Eric knew that if he pulled this stunt in a real restaurant, they were all liable to be sued. So Eric spent $2 million building a fake P.F. Chang's in Trevor's neighborhood and had to keep a team of people stationed there for months while waiting for Trevor to stop by for a meal. And while you might think that's an insane thing to spend your money on, Eric has actually done this 5 other times to Trevor. One time with a fake Ruth Chris Steakhouse, one time with a fake Starbucks, and while now he's broke and unable to continue this disgusting abuse, Trevor Noah now refuses to eat outside of his house and has become an absolute recluse. It's sad when you think about it because Eric could have been the next Chris Cuomo, but instead he's closer to the next Andy Dick. So Eric Andre, you're a total bitch. Okay guys, let me know who you want me to cover next. There's a lot of scumbags out there doing evil, and every other commentator seems to prefer to suck up to them. There's absolutely no one else who's willing to report the information that this channel is reporting.